What if I told you today's watch has a bunch of strengths, but I'm not really sure which is the star of the show? Is it the case, the dial, the way it wears? Or maybe it's how all of these things come together? Hey, there you are, and welcome to My Dude Watch. My name is Jason, and today we've got an incredible piece to look at. We're going to break this thing down, and I need your help. This watch has incredible refinement, outstanding craftsmanship, thoughtful design, and a watch that simply flexes without trying too hard. So stay tuned, you do not want to miss this. This is going to be fun. You know the deal. Grab a snack, pull up a chair, and let's talk watches. Before we get started, I want to thank Hilts for loaning me this piece for review. It'll be returned after this video is complete. And as always, the thoughts you will hear today are my own, and they're based on my experiences with this watch. I also want to mention Hilts provided a discount code for you guys, which will be in the description, where you can get a very generous 10% discount. Before we even get to the watch, I want to take just a moment to talk about the presentation. Hilts packages the Speedway in a handsome hardwood box. It's got the embossed logo right here on the top, and when you open it, it immediately feels like a premium experience. The watch is displayed on a soft cushion, and inside you'll find a warranty card and a cleaning cloth here. It's not flashy or overdone, just thoughtful. And it's details like this that really enhance the ownership experience before you even strap the watch on. And we are ready to get going, and we're going to start right here with the tail of the tape. All right, here we go. The Hilts Speedway measures in at 45 millimeters in case diameter, 53 millimeters lug to lug, and 13 millimeters thick. The lug width comes in at 22 millimeters, giving you plenty of options if you enjoy changing straps. The case is crafted from 316L marine grade stainless steel, and the watch is topped with a beautifully executed anti-reflective boxed sapphire crystal. And this Hilts offers 100 meters of water resistance, making it more than capable of handling everyday life. Power in this watch is a high-functioning Miyota chronograph movement, and we will talk in just a little while why I think that was a great choice. But after wearing this watch for the past week, I can tell you the numbers only tell part of the story. And now let's get into how it wears, and let's address the elephant in the room. This guy is 45 millimeters. Now, catch your breath. This watch doesn't wear like a 45 millimeter watch. It really doesn't. When I put this one on, the first thing I notice is how incredibly balanced it feels on the wrist. It doesn't feel top heavy or awkward, and it doesn't shift when you turn your arm. And after a while, I can honestly tell you I stopped thinking about the size. It just blended in on my wrist, and I mean that is the best compliment I can give it. My wrist is 7¼ inches, and with me, it never felt like a 45 millimeter watch. And that's one of the biggest surprises of this entire review. If I had to point to one feature that defines the Speedway, it would be the case. I've said this several times while wearing the watch over the last few days, but I keep coming back to the same word: refinement. This isn't just a well-refined case. I can tell you this is a remarkably refined one. The combination of brushed and polished surfaces is executed beautifully, and every transition feels crisp and intentional. Nothing looks rushed, nothing feels unfinished, and every angle seems to have been carefully considered. Then there are the case flanks. And I do want to point out, instead of leaving the sides plain like a lot of brands do, Hilts added a diamond pattern engraving that immediately gives the Speedway its own identity. It's one of those details that looks great in photos, but nothing matches seeing it in person. It adds character without feeling overly flashy. The crown is well proportioned, it's really easy to grip, and it features the embossed Hilts logo. And check out the pushers. And yes, they blend naturally into the overall design, rather than looking like they were simply attached as an afterthought, but functionally, they are crisp and effective. I've handled a lot of watches over the years in this price range, and I don't say this lightly. The attention to detail is evident everywhere you look. The overall workmanship makes the Speedway one of the high watermarks in this price category. This is the kind of case that keeps rewarding you every time you pick up the watch, and here's a view from the case back. Now let's turn the watch back over and have a look at the top of the case. We'll look straight down here through the crystal. And remember this, a great crystal isn't supposed to call attention to itself. It's supposed to protect the dial and disappear. That's it. and that's exactly what happens here. I actually took the Speedway outside into the South Carolina sun because I wanted to see how that anti-reflective coating would perform. Bright sunlight has a way of exposing weaknesses pretty quickly, but not here. Instead, the crystal stayed remarkably clear, reflections were kept to a minimum, and the dial remained easy to read from every angle. That's exactly what I hope for in a sapphire crystal. It gets out of the way and lets the watch do the talking. Now let's take a deep dive into this dial. The reverse panda layout immediately grabs your attention, but it's the smaller details that kept me coming back. The applied hour markers are evenly aligned, consistently finished, and it gives the dial a real sense of depth. Nothing appears crooked, oversized, or out of place. Everything feels intentional. The recessed sub-dials add another layer of dimension without making the dial feel busy, while the raised, brushed tachymeter frames everything nicely and reinforces the Speedway's motorsports inspiration. The vintage-inspired handset is easy to read at a glance. The pops of color on the chronograph hands keep things interesting without becoming a distraction, and the date window at 6 o'clock feels balanced rather than forced. The more time I spent with this watch, the more I appreciated just how carefully the dial was put together. And one last thing, as simple as the red tip on the seconds hand appears to be, it adds just enough energy to reinforce the racing theme. Now, after looking at this, I'm not sure if it's the case or the dial that's the star of the show. This is a very complete watch. And now the movement. Powering the Speedway is a high-precision Citizen Miyota chronograph movement. The right movement should fit the purpose of the watch, and I actually think Hilts made the right choice here. A racing chronograph should be accurate, dependable, and ready whenever you reach for it. That's exactly what this movement delivers. I know there is a small segment of enthusiasts that hear the word quartz and begin fading out. My advice here, don't. I can tell you this, my experience over the last week, timekeeping has been exactly what I'd expect from a quality Miyota quartz movement. Consistent, dependable, and something I've not had to think about. Guys, can we talk about the pushers for just a second because they are exceptional. There is something incredibly satisfying about the way they operate. Every press has a crisp, positive click that feels far more like a mechanical chronograph than you'd expect from a quartz movement. There's no mushiness, no uncertainty, just a clean, confident action that makes you want to use the chronograph. It's one of those little details that many people won't mention, but after spending some time with the Speedway, it became one of my favorite parts of the watch. And now a part of the watch that deserves some credit too. This is the strap, and it's comfortable right out of the box. It balances the watch beautifully, and it looks like it belongs here. Sometimes you find a great watch paired with a strap that immediately has you shopping for a replacement. That wasn't my experience. Hilts clearly designed this strap to complement the watch. Mission accomplished. The Speedway uses super luminova on the hands and hour markers. I'll describe it as good. Not spectacular, not world class. It's just good. It charges quickly, remains easy to read in low light conditions, and does exactly what it's supposed to do. This isn't a watch that's trying to win a lume competition. Instead, Hilts focuses on building a beautifully refined chronograph, and the lume supports that mission without trying to steal the spotlight. Now, next is the part of the review that I'm almost uneasy about, and I'm not sure why. One thing I've noticed over the past few years, every watch has compromises, and it's my job to help you sort those out and find out if you should spend your hard-earned money on this particular watch. The interesting thing about the Speedway is I kept looking for those compromises. I looked at the case, I looked at the crystal, I paid attention to how it wore over the last week. I tested the pushers, I evaluated the strap, I checked the lume, and I kept asking myself, okay, what's the catch? And honestly, I never found one. Now, is the Speedway perfect? No, I don't think so. If I could change one thing, I'd love to see Hilts introduce a 40mm version of this. Not because the 45mm wears too large, it really doesn't. In fact, it wears considerably smaller than the specs suggest. I would simply love for more enthusiasts to experience what Hilts has created here. Beyond that, it's as solid as they come. So who is this watch for? This is for someone with a medium to large wrist who's been looking for a chronograph that feels premium. And if you appreciate thoughtful design, exceptional finishing, and the little details that separate a good watch from a great one, I think you're going to enjoy the Speedway. Well, there you go, the Hilts Speedway, and I gotta tell you, the specs got my attention, but the refinement earned my respect. So what do you guys think of this piece? We put a link in the description so you can go there, check it out, and see if it's right for you. If you decide to take advantage of that 10% discount, it's listed there in the description as well. Hey, you made it to the end of another video. Thank you for doing that. We appreciate you watching. If you enjoyed what you saw today, please take the time to like this video and subscribe to the channel. It'll only take you a second, but it really does help. All right, we checked the time, and it is time to wrap it up, so we will close the show. My name is Jason with My Dude Watch. We'll do it all again next time, but wait, don't forget, dudes can't be late.